Okay. Let's take simulation theory for a tangent, a little spin, and say, okay, we are in a controlled simulation that, in my mind, just personally, is equivalent to a god or gods scenario. I mean, there's really just two options, right? Either there's a god or gods that is actively monitoring, maybe in some aggregate fashion. I mean, you have to draw a line somewhere, to one that's got processes monitoring us, and he's not really monitoring us, or she, whatever. I don't think pronouns matter for a higher dimensional being. Maybe it does. I could never know. But, damn it. Oh, damn it, I did it again. What was I saying? Yeah, so there's really just, there's a god or gods that is the creator of our simulation / creator of our Earth, universe, whatever. It's the same thing. Or there's, or none at all, and it's completely, all the Big Bang, and just it wasn't caused by an intelligent creature. Either we were caused by an intelligent creature, or we weren't. Right, and if we weren't, that's science, right? Or pure science, right? So without anything else, that's the conclusion you arrive at via science, right? And via other areas too, I guess. But it's the main one. But that's not fun to think about, whether it's true or not, which of course I could never know, right? So why care about whether I know or not? I do care, but there's no reason I should. I guess it's just emotional. But it's only fun to think about if there are other beings that created us and that are monitoring and watching us, either just our actions or just our internet actions, and all history is just a lie, and our simulation's only 25 years old since the internet was public, and or 27, I don't know. Right, and you're all just other beings that have joined the simulation from another dimension. Or me and a handful of people are just test subjects, or all of us are test subjects. Who knows? Who knows? Of course I have to have the egomaniac or egocentric, possibility mentioned, because everyone should have that. Because, well, I mean, to me, I don't really know how to explain it, because it's just common sense to me. You should always prepare for the fact that you are the target, the main focus of the simulation, or are one of the main foci of this simulation, right? So, I mean, never think, and honestly, there's 7 billion of us, right? That's actually kind of a tiny number when you're dealing with other dimensional beings. I mean, we can run computations on our own fucking computers in a second on that number of people, depending on the computation. But you know what I mean? You can run through 7 billion things, maybe not a second, under a minute, some number of seconds. But I mean, we could all be test subjects and all actively monitored. I mean, this would fit under anyone who's Christian, or or Jewish, or Islamic, right? Because their claim is the same, that God is actively monitoring us, and none of you actually think one person is just one person or one thing, right? I mean, one person is one person, right? But one person is not really just one consciousness, right? Because first off, Christians believe God is 3 in 1, so that's at least 3 things that are monitoring you. And then, but all of those have consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness, So that's like 9 there. That's 9 people watching you there. And then, assuming it works like that with them, but with Jesus, because he was human. Who knows about God, though? Does he have a subconscious? What if? Oh, man. That always throws me for a loop. God's subconscious. Like you all know, you do things and you later realize, oh shit, that was weird. I wouldn't normally have done that. But then you realize, oh, well, it makes sense from like a perspective where I wasn't actually thinking this at the time, but your subconscious does things for you. You know that, right? Like it influences your decisions. Obviously. Everyone would agree with that. So and you recognize it as a distinct thing from your consciousness. And you are just your consciousness that gets to access the memory portion of your brain, gets to access other parts of your brain, like turn on speech, bloop, and you get to talk about whatever. And but that could also be considered part of your consciousness, just like because your speech is part of your personality, right? So whatever. It doesn't matter. These are semantics. You know the point of what I'm saying, right? I think it's much more entertaining to think about the scenario where you have trillions or more of people, individuals, other dimensional beings, or even beings in our own universe or whatever. Or maybe it's just everyone else on the planet, and, whatever. But I like to imagine that trillions of other beings are watching our Earth as a reality TV show. And since there's trillions of them, there's at least like one of them per one of us that enjoys the story that we've had, right? You know that. If you have simply, fucking trillions and bajillion, I don't even know what goes past trillion. I don't really. I should know this, but trillions of them, and that'd be just cool as fuck, right? So you gotta so it doesn't really matter, and pretend they read your thoughts. Okay, that's what basically the whole point of this is that what I'm trying to say is that your thoughts are. Why would you think your thoughts are protected? I know mine aren't. I've heard things based on my thoughts. I may not be the best. Yeah, I'm not gonna be very representative of anyone else watching this, I guess, or pretty much anyone else. I forget what else, which I could not understand. Anyway, the trillions and more. And reading your thoughts, why not? Just assume the worst. Always, of course, always assume the worst. Puts you in a better position. That's what I've done my whole life, and now I am where I want to be, actually. Exactly where I want to be. I could not have gotten to a better place in life than where I have been for. Even in the times that looked like bad times, they were all just they taught me things, so they were all necessary. And I think I've just always been in the best place in life possible, which, if relates to the whole Asimov's theory of luck being a variable on us in our simulation. And I'm embellishing a bit, but that's the idea basically. And at least one of his books, or two, I don't remember It's been a while. Involves that idea, and if that's true, then I got it. And Asimov, or I got a high the variable for luck, very high, incredibly high actually. Just like the character in the book that I'm thinking of, I can't remember what it's called. But I mean, anyone should read everything Asimov's written. Every person on Earth should read everything he's written because it's the best. He's the best author ever, so, by far. I mean, because he's actually predicted like everything. I mean, not everything, but he's probably has more true percent of his predictions being true so far than anyone. So I think there's a good chance that I just got a high luck value. I mean, I have certain casinos in Colorado where I just always win at blackjack if I go. I mean, not a great sample size. Probably only gone like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times to each, but I just win. Blackjack, you shouldn't be just winning. It's not great. I don't know. I don't card count consciously. I don't any of that. I just go with what feels right. And I mean, I don't know. But trillions of people watching you and reading your thoughts. So why would you care about anything? Right? Right? Like, why would you give a shit about, like, I'm not saying, like, don't give a shit about, like, people you love and, like, shit like that, you know? No, I mean, like, why would you care about, like, why would anyone care about, like, any of the dumb shit? Like, I don't know, reputation, public image. I mean, I could just be saying this because, you know, that kind of shit can't matter to me anymore. Just by default cannot matter. Like, so it doesn't. It's like, I don't know. But, like, it logically should not matter to anyone. Because in the majority of people's minds, due to the fact that the majority of people fall under one of the religions that is basically like the simulation theory, where they are being monitored by God. Why don't you fucking act like it?